The airline manager said it with a smile, which was somehow worse than hostility. Hostility you can argue with. A smile dressed as customer service is designed to make you feel like the problem. General Raymond Cole, 4 stars, 31 years, 2 wars, was wearing khakis and a Navy jacket when he boarded the flight to Denver. No uniform, no medals, nothing that announced what he was. Because Raymond Cole had never needed a uniform to know who he was, and he'd stopped needing other people to confirm it a long time ago. He was visiting his daughter Amara's medical school graduation. He'd bought the first-class ticket 3 months earlier because his left knee, rebuilt twice after Fallujah, doesn't manage 4-hour economy flights without consequences. His granddaughter had called the airline herself, provided his injury history, confirmed the medical notation on the booking twice, once when she made the reservation, once the week before departure. His granddaughter is 11 years old. She is more organized than most generals Raymond has known personally. He was in 3C for 6 minutes before the manager appeared. The manager's name was Brett. Mid-30s, the posture of a man given a small amount of authority who'd spent years expanding it inside his own head. He came down the aisle with the specific energy of someone who has already decided the outcome of a conversation before having it not investigating a problem. Executing a plan he'd already written. "Sir," he said it the way people say sir when they don't mean it. "I'm going to need to see your boarding pass." Raymond handed it over without comment. Brett looked at it. Looked at Raymond. Looked at the seat. Did the particular calculation that certain people perform when the result in front of them has the nerve to contradict the expectation they arrived with. There may have been a ticketing error. This seat is part of our premium first-class cabin, and the booking tier doesn't appear to match what we'd expect for this section. "Match what?" Raymond said. Brett smiled. Patient. Practiced. The smile of a man who has done this before and found that smiling makes people feel foolish for resisting. "I'm going to ask you to come with me to the gate so we can sort this out before departure." "I'm not going to the gate," Raymond said. "My boarding pass is valid. I purchased this seat 3 months ago. I have a medical notation on the booking for my left knee. I am not moving." The passenger in 3A, a man in a dark suit who had been watching since the moment Brett appeared in the aisle, looked up slowly from his laptop. Brett's smile tightened at the edges. He leaned in and dropped his voice, the way people do when they want to frame a public humiliation as a private courtesy. "Sir, I don't want to make this uncomfortable for anyone. There is a perfectly good seat available in premium economy, then sit in it yourself," Raymond said. Brett straightened. Made the decision that small men make when their authority is questioned in front of an audience. He called for backup. A second staff member arrived. Then, a third. 3 airline employees standing in the aisle, forming a wall between a 63-year-old man with a reconstructed knee and the seat he'd paid for 3 months ago. The man in 3A closed his laptop with a soft click. "I'm a journalist," he said, to no one in particular. "Just so everyone knows." Brett ignored him. "Sir, if you continue to refuse to cooperate, I'm going to have to involve airport security." Raymond looked at the 3 employees, looked at Brett, stood up slowly, deliberately, because the knee, and said 2 words, "Get them." Security came. 2 officers, professional, trained to assess before acting. One asked Brett to explain. Brett explained. The officer took Raymond's boarding pass and examined it for 4 seconds. "Sir, this boarding pass is completely valid." "I know," Raymond said. The officer looked at Brett with the expression of a man who now understood exactly what kind of situation he'd been called into. "Is there an actual booking conflict documented in the system?" Brett pulled out his tablet. Typed, scrolled, typed again. The color left his face the specific way it does when a person searches for the justification they were absolutely certain existed and finds nothing where it should be. No booking conflict. There had never been a booking conflict. Raymond's seat was his documented, confirmed, medically noted, paid for 3 months ago, double verified by an 11-year-old who had treated the task with the seriousness it deserved. The journalist in 3A had been filming since security arrived. Raymond sat back down, buckled his seatbelt, opened the Frederick Douglass biography his daughter had sent him last Christmas, and did not look at Brett again. Brett was escorted off the plane by his own supervisor, who arrived with the expression of someone who had already seen the beginning of something very bad and was now watching the middle of it. The video posted at 9:47 that morning. 6 million views by the time Raymond landed in Denver. 11 million by the time he stood in the front row watching Amara cross the stage in her white coat. Her name called out in a room that had no idea her father was trending nationally. Investigation found no booking conflict, no system flag, no legitimate basis for the removal attempt, and 3 prior passenger complaints against Brett, all unaddressed, all involving the same profile of traveler. He was terminated before the week ended. The CEO called Raymond directly, apologized fully, offered miles, complimentary upgrades, a formal written statement. Raymond accepted the apology and declined everything else. "I don't need the miles," he told Amara at graduation dinner that evening. "I fly enough." His granddaughter had already printed the news article and filed it in her binder. Raymond has absolutely no idea where she gets that from. He sent the journalist one short email, not thanking him for the article, but for saying, "I'm a journalist, just so everyone knows," before anyone asked him to. That moment, Raymond said, was the most important part of the whole thing. Most battles aren't won by the person being attacked. They're won by the person nearby who decides that what's happening in front of them is not something they're willing to watch in silence. Raymond has seen that principle hold in 2 wars. As it turns out, it applies at 30,000 feet too.